So today we're going to be talking about how our waste consumption is affecting global warming and what we can do as citizens and businesses to, offset that. Can we speak more about that?
Yeah, thank you, Christina. Hello, everybody, again. We already touched the discussion about the waste management contribution, positively or negatively, to climate change and to global warming. We have already discussed about the Paul Hocken great plan for reversing global warming. We know, everybody, the discussion about Paris Agreement and all the talks about the CO2. First of all, let's do something. CO2 emissions are much higher than any time in history. We cannot say that it is not, because 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, we didn't have cars, we didn't have this industry, we didn't have all this kind of stuff around us. So we cannot say that CO2 emissions are the same in the last 1,000 years. We have to admit that in the last 100 years, especially 150 years, the CO2 emissions are it's dramatically increasing. And for sure, if we correlate with the decrease of the forestry around the world, it's a huge correlation between them. I discussed with my boy a few days ago, and he said like this, Dad, I have a question now I realize which is important. How trees are growing? Okay, let's discover. Trees are growing capturing the CO2. So if we have a lot of trees, we give them CO2 and they grow. But if we cut the trees, no more CO2 consumption. It was a natural balance. And we do not have any more a balance on this earth between how much the earth can absorb CO2 and how much CO2 we emit. So in the last 50 years, 100 years, this balance is
off.
It's off. I don't know the numbers.
More than off.
But we have to understand this one. If we agree that the math balance 1 + 1 = 2, we cannot change this kind of math. So if we do these numbers, we are unbalanced. So we generate more CO2 with our life day by day activity than this earth can absorb. Okay, so let's speak about glass. Let's speak about the glass and CO2. How can we contribute? How can we offset the CO2 by using glass? How can we build sustainability for us as citizens, being more conscious and being a sustainable and conscious citizens, and not only for us, but also for the product manufacturer, also for the distributor, also for the retailer, for all the stakeholders? How can we offset the CO2 in this moment by using glass? And in this moment, if we analyze the official numbers, we can say like this. I have some numbers here with me, and we have to talk about numbers. We have to go a little bit on math on this one. And for 1 ton of CO2, 1 ton of CO2 is offset for 6 tons of recycled glass. This is the official number of EPA, Environment Protection Agency in the United States. We started to read this, we started to analyze, to talk with a lot of experts, not only in the United States, but worldwide. And we discovered something. To produce a new glass bottle from primary raw materials, so no more recycled glass, we use, it's called the soda ash, which is a raw material. It's a chemical raw material. It's a chemical, but it's used as a raw material by the bottle manufacturer, which has the highest energy consumption from all the others. So it's not about the CO2 of the sand. It's about this soda ash, which has a huge energy consumption. And we have been very, very surprised that EPA is using a different energy consumption than the producers officially says. So they say, okay, this is the energy consumption on our research on EPA, but in reality, when you see the website and the official numbers, the energy consumption is huge. So when you put all the energy consumption and everything inside, we realize that it's a huge benefit to use recycled glass, not primary raw material, and not to use, because when you use glass cullets, you do not use anymore this soda ash.
Right.
You do not use the same materials again. Why? Because and very important, when you use sand as a primary raw material for a new bottle, your energy consumption as a bottle manufacturer is huge, thousands of degrees there to melt the sand.
Right, right.
When you use glass cullets, the energy consumption is less because it's only hundreds
Right.
of degrees in your equipment. So if we have companies, we have bottle manufacturers which says to us that they can use up to 90% recycled glass in a new bottle, depending on color, quality, but minimum is 70, 75, up to 90%. With this, if they use this glass cullets, recycled glass, they decrease the energy consumption to melt the glass cullets with minimum 30 to 40%. And believe me, energy consumption for a bottle manufacturer from his expenses, it's about 80%. So it's a huge expense financially, and also a huge decrease of CO2. So in this moment, we will issue in August a white paper of End of Waste Foundation on CO2 offset. Our belief is that 1 ton of CO2 is offset for 2.85 ton of recycled glass used, not for 6 ton. And we will issue this white paper, as I promised, in August 2019. We'll have this officially. So it's a huge contribution. If we take this new number, we do not have to speak anymore about landfilling glass. And we have been very, very surprised when we saw even the waste and recycling industry sometimes speaking about the benefits of landfilling glass, because it's not a good CO2 footprint. It is a CO2 footprint if we use all the data. And we have to take into consideration that we use in this moment the data for the present, nor for the future.
Right.
We do not know how to calculate the CO2 impact or the impact on our health, on our environment in the next 1,000 years, because the glass will be there. The glass is neutral, so it doesn't have a present impact, but with all other waste there, why to landfill?
Right.
Why to do this in this issue? So on the CO2 footprint, and we are very, very positive that glass is it's the best. It's a great solution.
Right.
One more thing, if we analyze also the weight of the packaging, in the last 50 years, the weight of the glass packaging is diminishing with 50%.
50?
50%
Wow.
weight. This is official number on EPA website. So
Beautiful.
if we keep innovating in glass, if we keep innovating in using glass, I'm sure that the CO2 offset, it will be much bigger, and we'll have more benefits from using and recycling glass than other materials. And we'll speak also about aluminum and how it is very, very positive to use this one. So in this moment, if you are a citizen and you want to be sustainable, if you want to offset your CO2, you can join End of Waste Foundation. If you are a product manufacturer or retailer, and if you really want to boost your sustainability, to be a champion of sustainability, and to offer to your customers a sustainable product,
Right.
we welcome you on end of waste platform to see how we can really build products. Imagine that we have organic products, a lot of organic products packed in this moment in plastic
Right.
or in other packaging which is not sustainable.
Correct.
So we are killing our work ourselves
Right.
by building organic products, by building something sustainable, but forgetting about plastic.
Right.
And CO2 foot offset is great, distributed share responsibility is great, so we can do something which is fair and equitable for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you.